Come on in and welcome back to my kitchen. This video will show you how to make samosa spring roll wrap, and this is a fan requested video. I'll be showing you how to make the samosa wrap using the paint and brush method. I hope you're going to find some helpful tips in this. I will also show you in this video some setbacks that I had and how to avoid those mistakes. This is one of those videos that I really like because it emphasizes my outro, which says that we are learning and cooking together. So we're going to learn and cook together in this video. I'll show you how to go from this to this. Here are what you'll need to make this wrap. All-purpose flour, cornstarch. If you do not have cornstarch, you can use all-purpose flour for this. It works as well. Salt for taste, or you can leave out. Oil and water. I'll be showing you the usefulness of this as we go along, but also show you an alternative if you do not want to use this. And water. In as much as I will be using a non-stick pan, I always like to condition my pan before use, just like how I do for my stainless steel. So what you would do is coat generously your pan and heat it up on the medium heat for about 3 to 5 minutes. And once that is done, sieve out all the oil from it and then give it a wipe down and then set it aside to cool. So this will help you not to bother using that mixture of water and oil that I had mentioned in the ingredient list. But if you do not want to waste your time, or I wouldn't say waste your time, but if you do not want to do this, you can as well use the water and oil solution that I mentioned in the ingredient list. We're going to go ahead and mix all the dry ingredients together. The flour, the cornstarch, and the salt. And I did make mention that the cornstarch is optional. The only reason why I prefer to use the cornstarch is that it has this extra thickening to the wrap itself, so it doesn't break easily. But if you do not have that, the flour as well would do. And also the cornstarch is less calorie than me using extra flour, so if that makes sense to you. What I've done so far is add water into the dry ingredients to make it into a very loose batter. After doing that, I sieve my batter so that I'll be sure that it is completely lump free. But this also is optional. You can just mix and mix thoroughly, but this is recommended if you can do this extra step. Let's talk about the setbacks that you can meet along the way. First is the consistency of your batter. It shouldn't be too thick to help you better spread your batter when you're making the thin wrap. Another thing was that the heat level should not be too high or too low. It should just be moderate heat. When coating your pan, you should ensure that your strokes are short and they are overlapping and not parallel like I'm showing you. They are not overlapping. This will create a lot of holes, and then if your batter is too thick, going on top of it will make the sheet thicker than what you really are aiming for. So that is one potential way that you can have a setback. You can see I'm trying to fill up the hole, But in this case, the more I'm filling up the mold, the more batter I'm using. And I didn't want it too thick, I just wanted a thin wrap. Another setback is if you're not looking at the wrap itself, but using a specified time. You have to look at the wrap and make sure it is set before you turn or attempt to flip. So yeah, I was using a specified time, and as you can see, that was just rubbish. For my second attempt, I decided that I was going to wait some extra minutes for it to set, but I still did not get a hang of it. First of all, you can see my strokes are not overlapping, and I kept going back and forth in coating those holes that I can see. Now, I did wait a bit for this, but still the time was not enough. I lifted it too soon. Let's try one more time. After coating my pan with the batter, I waited for some minutes. Here, some parts were set and some parts was not set. I decided to show you all these setbacks so that you will avoid these mistakes. After much practice, I began to get a hang of it. So we are going to discuss about it now. My first tip is to make the batter very runny and somewhat diluted. It shouldn't be concentrated. Show you how to use the water and oil solution. It is at this stage that you will use it to coat your pan if it was not conditioned. And then when you are adding your batter, you should paint in short and overlapping stroke. This will minimize the amount of holes that you will have and the need for you to keep going back to repaint. You have to be gentle with this, and just remember that. Sing that in your head if you have to. Short and overlap stroke. Short and overlapping stroke. That is what you need to do. You keep doing that till all your pan is well coated. And you should do this under medium heat. And flip only when it is completely set. When it is set, it will come off easily like that. Now, flipping it over is optional. It's totally not necessary. After this first time of me making this wrap, I stopped flipping over. So right now, I do not flip over. I just make it the first side, and I take it off the pan. I decided to do this second set to show you that the pattern, how you paint, does not matter. You can go straight, you can go round and round. The most important thing is that your pan should be coated all through. Before you put this onto the plate, what you need to do is coat it with a bit of oil so that it will be easier for you to take out and separate them from each other. That step is important. I will show you what will happen later if you do not coat the sheets between each other. This is one more time for you to see how it is. It is simple once you get a hang of it, but you need these tips to be able to help you to know how to make it at first. But once you are able to determine the consistency of the batter and the strokes of painting the batter all over your pan, it is really simple and easy to do. Feel free to turn your pan around like that to help you paint it properly. And if you see any hole, you can go in and just paint all over. And if you want it thicker than this, you can actually go on top of it again. That's the beauty of this method. When you're placing this on the plate, ensure that you cover them with a damp cloth or paper towel while you work. If not, it's going to dry out. I want to show you how I use my griddle to do this instead of a pan, in case you do not have a pan and you have this griddle. The same technique is what you use. Short and overlapping strokes, and you do this under medium heat as well. If your batter is right consistency, like runny, it will be very easy for you to paint your batter over whatever surface you're using. When it's getting ready, you will see that the side will start lifting up. That's a sign for you to know that it's about time for you to flip. But again, look at the wrap itself and not a specified time. Make sure all of them are set before you flip it to avoid breakage. See how easy it comes out. Very, very easy. While I was working, I put it in this pan, in this plate. Like I said, cover it up with a damp towel or paper towel to keep it moist and not dry out. Now, another mistake I made at this stage was, instead of me to allow it to cool down before flipping it like that or handling it, I went in and dived in. What it caused was that one I did not wait for it to cool broke. So please allow it to cool down first before you attempt to separate them. So this is what that top one is like after it had cooled. You see how broken it is. So to avoid this, just allow it to cool down first before you even decide that you want to separate them from each other. Now I'm going to show you how to get the perfect shape that you want. You can go ahead and use it just like this, but I was looking for a neat looking wrap. So what I'll go ahead to do now is to cut it into the shape that I desire. This is optional, like I said. So this gave me somewhat like a square or a rectangle shaped wrap. You can cut it into any shape that you like. Like I will be showing you how to cut it into a circle as well. So there you have it. That is your paper thin wrap. So all you need to do now is to make your fillings and you put it in, and then you fry your spring roll. So this is what happened for the wraps that I do not put oil in between. You see how hard and difficult it is for me to separate them. If you're not even very careful, it's gonna tear up. So this is what I was trying to avoid, and that's why I said you should spray a bit of oil in between each wrap. At the end of my pre-cutting and all that, this is what I have. So very soon I'm going to be making a video showing you guys how I use this wrap. Once it is totally cooled down, you can place this into a resealable bag and freeze it. It usually lasts for about 3 weeks to 1 month. It will still come out fresh. I know this video is lengthy, I do apologize for that, but it needed to be like that. So I'll show you everything that I learned during making wraps. So guys, if you enjoyed this video, remember to share. Until next time when I see you again, let's learn and cook together. Bye bye.